buildings, all this light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice. Time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss loved ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, who cares why we're fighting? It's about the fight. Let the writers writing settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm fighting the war because that's what this time is about. Yeah. Where's my phone? Oh man, I had one of those experiences where like I'm looking at my monitors and I'm like, somewhere in the entire maze of windows that exists here, I know actually where the window is for the audio. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Tuesday stream. It is September 5th, 2017. Summer is leaving us behind, I'm afraid, and we have moved into the fall, which is good for weather reasons, good for sports reasons, not for so good for those of you who are back into the grind of school. But we will try to survive and get by, and of course, school is a very good thing as well. Before we get to any of that, though, I want to remind everybody about ways to support the stream. If you haven't already done so, please consider following the stream. Please make sure that you check out the YouTube channel with the exclamation point ArvTube. Please check out the Steam group with exclamation point Steam group. Please retweet this channel, this stream, by the way, with exclamation point CTT. I don't want to forget to mention that. Please check out the Discord with exclamation point Discord. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to support the channel with either exclamation point, excuse me, Arvtreon, which is the Patreon link. That's ARVTREON, sitting currently at 408.04 as we're heading northward again towards 500, where a lot of other cool stuff awaits. Or exclamation point, actually no exclamation point, subscribe. If you hit that purple button right above the window, thank you, Classicor and Kilobyte. If you hit that button right above the video window, you will see a way to subscribe to the channel, which is also supporting the channel, and both of those things are helpful. You can do one or both, you know, subscribe once, subscribe often. No, but if you're able the support. That definitely makes a difference to the way the channel runs. It's never a requirement, but is always appreciated. So today we continue with the power of Star Strider. Oh, cool. Well, welcome to your visitor, X5, and you're saving your introduction for the GOG stream is just fine. That's no problem. So today we are continuing with the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 27, Star Strider, and we will be doing so with the aid of our regular but still very special guest. Before we do that, I do want to remind everybody, schedule-wise, that we have something else coming up today, and that is, I think I forgot to mention this, but I think I've got the nominations for... let me double check. I believe we have nominations today for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month, because I think we're playing it next Tuesday. Let me make sure if that's true. Yes, nominations for the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month will be today after the stream, and then on Friday will be the actual final vote for the stream. This is going to be compressed because we're going to be actually playing that 1 week from today. We're going to 1 week from today be playing the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month during this time slot, and the reason is because the weeks after that, the 2 weeks after that, are Adventures in Middle-earth time. So we have back-to-back Tuesdays, the 19th and 26th are the Tolkien campaigns. That means next week on the 12th is the Patreon Fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month. Discord should be Arvcord. Oh yeah, I got to think about that. That's not a bad call. I should think about that, Chaotix. So that's what's going on with that. This Friday we have Lunar Silver Star Story that I'm going to be continuing. Plus, again, the vote for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month, as I said. And then on Saturday, we have D&D with the Infinity and Beyond crew. We will not be at full strength there. We will probably be down 2 people. I think Poke Dude's going to be filling in for one of them. I have to confirm with him. But the other one is going to be gone, so probably Cairo and Rob are not going to be here. Cairo is not quite back yet from his trip, and Rob is flying off to Iceland on one of his monthly junkets. I'm just kidding. But no, Rob is not going to be here. So, as a consequence, we are going to be down 2, but as I said, one of them will be replaced. That campaign will continue on Friday the 29th as well, with a full crew back in play. So that's what's happening for this week. We've got Star Strider today. On Pen and Pixels, which is coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'll be playing Star Trek Judgment Rights. I'll be debuting a new game for me over at Pen and Pixels. So definitely check that out today. All right, with all that said, I am now going to unmute myself so she can now hear that we're about to get started, and then I'm going to switch over to this. Hello everyone, good to see you all. And I can already see that artwork is in progress, and that of course is exactly what I like to hear as I bring in, now she's unmuted, as I bring in of course our esteemed guest TariToons. Hi Tari, how are you?
Hello, I am doing fine. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. So Tari is here to join us as we continue our work on the power of Star Strider, and I believe what you're doing here, if I'm not mistaken, is our main character, right? Isn't this the protagonist?
Yes. Sitara, Shadow Space.
Yes. I am super excited. Yes, Sitara Shadow Space. Not Shadow Blade, Shadow Space, X5. You should know the name of the person that you came up with, you know? I'm just saying.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, no, it's. I still think our character looks like Grace Jones. I do see that for sure. I see the Grace Jones.
It could be that I based her on her, but like not consciously, you know.
Right. Like there was just sort of the line of influence that's kind of in there. Yeah. So this is cool. I am looking forward to continuing. Do you actually want to go through? Do you want to go through the what we did last time? While I have to fix one window here.
Last time I only got 2 drawings done because the first one was a bit time consuming with all the details.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have one of, I wasn't sure. He was a guy on the cover of the book. Was he a specific character or just one guy of a specific race that are the villains?
I think that he's that. I think he's that. I think he's the race. But he's not. So there's 2 sets of villains. There's the one sort of alien type that are use sort of mind control and stuff like that to get things across, to get to gain control over people. That's not this alien race. There's another alien race that I think they typically hire to do some of their evil deeds, and I think that's what this guy is. I don't remember the name of him yet. We may not even have encountered him actually yet. We may have just heard of him yet. That is very zoomed out. I don't want to be that zoomed out. That's more like it. Okay, my webcam is acting oddly.
But yeah, here we have our weird buck wolf person with 4 horns and So much going on with his clothing. I just went off the design from the cover.
Yep. I love that picture, but I love the fact that he's holding on like Silver Surfer style to the board. I'm a big fan of that.
And then afterwards, I drew our heroine, Sitara Shadow Space. That's her.
Yeah, there's Satara Shadow Space.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Yep. His Shadow Space. X5 is like Shadow Blade. I mean, Shadow Space. Maybe you all, in an alternate universe, you also did Satara Shadow Blade, who's not nearly as awesome as Satara Shadow Space. I'm just saying. Yes, so that is our protagonist. And just so that people are clear before I get the music started, I do like Mega Man. Sure. Absolutely, I do. Just so that we can be clear before we get underway here, the premise of this book is that President Zarin of the Galaxy One Federation, you know, our boy President Zarin, has been kidnapped by the Gromulans, and he's been taken to northern hemisphere of the planet Earth, where the assumption is that he's being brain scanned, and that his protector, his cephaloprotector, will hold out for only about 48 gravity hours, after which the computer defense codes will be in Gromulan hands, probably in the hands of the enemy, the Empire of the Purple Flag, those bastards. We, or you, I should say, chat, are the best rogue tracer in Sector 6, and you have been chosen to basically go to find the president and get him out before he's able to reveal, inadvertently, the nuclear codes, essentially, the computer defense codes to everybody. So that's basically what that is. Oh, thank you for the host, Sod. Thank you very much, man. Welcome. Thank you so much for the host, Sod, a member in fine standing of the Infinity and Beyond crew. Who you guys should be following. So yes, so that's our situation, is we have the Gromulans that we have to defeat. So we went to Earth, and we did get a bit of information. We found out that that Groms are in 4 cities linked by this thing called Silverhound, which I believe is a computer system, if I'm not mistaken, and that high-level Groms use comm terms to link to these bases. Gromulans are themselves not very physically powerful, but they're psychically quite strong, and one of the big things that they do is they will use these devices to create fear. We already had this encounter once where we had this car that we tried to get into, and it looked as we were getting into the car, it looked like it was filling up with lava, and that there were all these like skeletons and all this really disturbing stuff. And when we got in there and reached back, we actually saw that there was a device that we were able to shut off, and that it was just an illusion. So we need to be aware of that. As a consequence, there is actually a secondary stat that exists in this game, and that is the fear stat. So let me pop that up to be exact. Blah, blah, blah.
I read too many Green Lantern comics to know where this is going.
Yeah, exactly. I see exactly where this is going. I was just talking about Green Lantern with my daughter the other day. So yes, so we've got our fear, which is currently sitting at 10 out of 10. So that is our fear factor. And the other stat here that I want to note is time. Because as time goes on, our time runs out. And if our time ever hits 0, then regardless of what else is happening in the game, we're screwed, is basically the answer to that. So we have got to basically figure out a situation where we get to the president and get him rescued before any of this happens. Like before, the time runs out, before we get too scared, and before they're able to scan the codes into them. So exactly. Gromulans, a race of psychic Gromnirs. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Sod. Thanks for the host again, man. I appreciate it. So yes, so that is the drill with that. That is what we are doing. And I am excited. I am ready to go. So your only item, by the way, this is really simple. We have no gold. We have no provisions right now. We have no money or provisions. Our only item that we have right now is what's called a catchman, which is basically like a net gun, essentially. You are authorized to use non-lethal force only against human creatures, against most humanoid creatures. You can knock them out, obviously. And against android creatures, you can go ahead and destroy them if you want, because as Philip K. Dick so memorably told us, androids don't mean anything. No, that's not what he actually said. But anyway. So bedtime for you. All right. Good night, Sod. Sleep well. Thanks again for the host. I appreciate it. So yes. What is this clip? This is... You guys should go to TariToons and support her Patreon. Oh, yes. This is my clip where I basically talked up TariToons. and how you should check out our Patreon, etc. That is a good clip to check out, and then do what it says. You should definitely do those things. So anyway, that's the only thing that you have right now is a catchman. And everything else is going to be stuff that you're going to have to find. So we have to do what we can to find the president, and in that spirit, I'm going to fire up some music here. Now I get to do exactly what I was just talking, you and I were talking about what do we need, Terry, for music. Now I get to figure out the same thing. What did you end up going with?
Mass Effect soundtrack.
You did,
like,
okay.
all of it, because the video is 6 hours long.
Gets good call.
Then I don't have to worry about switching songs in between.
I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to skip over to the full OST. All right, there we go. Get the best quality I can get. Okay, there we go. Chat, let me know. Is that too loud? Let me jump forward to a section. There we go. How's that? Too loud? How's that sound? Too loud, or is it okay? Let me know, chat. How's that? Music. Sound good? That's fine. Fine as in too loud, or fine as in fine? Fine as in a 2-day-old piece of chicken is fine, but not very impressive, or could be a bit louder, okay. There we go. Alright, there we go. Thank you for the host, Optic Nerve. Okay, cool. So, here we go. If it gets much louder, we'll start drowning you out. Alright, well, let me know, because I do not want to drown anybody out. Let's go with that. I'm going to turn that down a touch, just so we can get there. Nice, okay. Good, we are good to go. Alright, let's make it happen. As Terry continues her work on Satara Shadow Space, let us start with what we ended with here. Here we go. So, what is going on here is that we just landed at a station where there was a android that you ended up finding, and you decided to follow it. Now, I should point out that most of the androids are working for the Gromulans, so most of the androids are going to be enemies. However, there are some androids that have been planted ahead of time by your organization that are basically double agents, and those androids will work in your favor, but you have to sort of carefully assess whether or not they're the good ones or the bad ones based on certain clues that you can pick up from them. So with that said, this particular android was one that you have confirmed is not on your side. It was definitely an anti-you android, essentially. And so as we start out here, you are watching this android. Having determined this, you are now watching this android to see what it does next. The android wanders off out of the terminal. You give it a few minutes and then go to the window. You look out carefully. It is speaking to 2 Grompol androids, and it is obvious that it has been turned. Luckily, the androids do not know what you look like. The turned android moves off and fingers its stun gun as it passes a group of hooligans who are trying to break into a food cube dispenser. Do you follow the android or approach the hooligans? I'd like to point out that in this universe, hooligans is Houlgans. Hooligans, not hooligans. Very different. Very different. Totally different meaning. Let's see. So, do we follow the android? Or approach the hooligans? What's it going to be? And you guys know the drill. The way this works is you do $vote space whatever the number is of the choice you want. If you want to follow the android, you go $vote space 1. If you want to approach the hooligans, you go $vote space 2. And also, hi to everybody who's here to start out, and hello to Classic Horror, and to Kilobyte, Dragon Spear, 10 of Clubs, Chaotix, Div, X5, ECAG, Hillness, Jagtress, Private J, Otakin, Sadrazm, of course, TariToons is already here, and With Intent. So hi to everybody to start out. All right, so far we got 2 votes for Approach the Hooligans, 1 vote for Follow the Androids. Or Android, singular. I like the scar, Terry, for extra bonus points of badassery.
Thank you. Yeah, when I first designed her, I was like, her face is kind of like boring because she doesn't have a helmet or a head or anything.
Right.
So yeah, I figured the scar would work, especially since she's like a badass space mercenary type person.
She uses her forehead to stop fights, basically.
Maybe there's a cool story. Maybe the Watchers can come up with a cool explanation for the scar.
Yeah.
Maybe she just fell off the swing as a kid.
Yeah.
I like these very mundane explanations for stuff that is very badass at first glance, but that explanation is like, oh, okay.
But then she karate chopped the swing, and then and the swing never bothered anyone again. You don't feel like you can vote intelligently? Well, this was not the best save spot. I remember that I had to save here because we were over time and I had to move on from it, but it's not, frankly, an optimal save spot because it kind of is starting sort of in the middle of a section that's a little bit harder to deal with, so. You're blocking with your head again. Yeah, Lo Wang from Shadow Warrior. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, let me get another vote or 2 in here. Follow the Android or Approach the Hooligans. Is this all we're going to get? People are like, this is all we have sort of early to start out. People are like, we don't know. All right, let me last call it then. Last call. Okay, last call, last call. And... Alright. Hooligans it is. As you approach the hooligans, they notice you and slowly surround you. They watch you carefully. Some of them are swinging chains in the air. One of them, who appears to be the leader, asks you if you have any credits. You look at him carefully and see that he has the figure 90 scrawled on his cheek. Do you give them any credits or refuse and stand your ground? Well, actually, I'll answer this question. There's nothing to vote on here because you don't have any credits. So that means you're going to be standing your ground, I guess. Right. Yep, no credits, so it's going to make things difficult in that regard. You know that hooligans are famed for their skill in stealing, so you do not show them any credits, but merely hint at the prospect of payment. They are suspicious and begin to back away, muttering about ROM agents. They put their heads together. When they come back, the leader tells you that they will take you to their hideout. They lead off at a fast pace and turn into a maze of small alleyways which even your trained mind cannot keep track of. We will pay in blood. Suddenly, one of the gang whistles, and they all take off in various directions. You catch sight of 3 of them, but which one do you chase? The one ahead in the alley, the one to the left in a doorway, or the one to the right in a doorway? So, who do we chase? One ahead in an alley, the one to the left in a doorway, or the one to the right in a doorway. They all seem like traps. Fortunately, you must choose one. What? What do you mean it's already started? Okay, let's try this again. There we go. The one ahead in an alley, the one to the left in a doorway, or the one to right in a doorway. Who should we chase? All right, the one to the right in a doorway, says Chaotix. ClassScore says also the one to the right in a doorway. Kilobyte's like, let's go over the one that's ahead in an alleyway. Okay, what other choices do we have? X5 also says the one that's ahead us in an alleyway. Doorways seem not good. Oh. Seems logical. Oh, I remember this music from MA1. Always toast. I see how it is with intent. Alright, we've got 2 votes for one ahead in an alley and 2 votes for the one to the right in a doorway. Who else wants to weigh in on this matter? Alright, what do we got? What have we got? We've got 2 votes for one ahead in an alley, 0 for the one to the left of a doorway, and 2 for the one to the right in a doorway. So we're going to need a few other people. We're going to need someone to break this tie and weigh in. What do we got? Ooh, that space background, though. Anyone? We do need one other person to break this tie. To choose either ahead in an alleyway or right in a doorway. Hello, Lucathea. The one ahead in an alley. All right, since we've got the tie broken, I'm going to last call this. Something about space alleys. Something space alley. Alley has more room for fighting. Oh, that's true. With intent also votes for one ahead in an alley. All right. Going once. Going twice. I should have said whom should we chase. And close the poll. So, we are going to do that. All right. The one ahead in the alleyway. Okay. Deduct 2 time units. Okay, as we do the chase. The one straight ahead gives you the best chance of using the catchman. You fire. Throw a die. Now, here's the deal, Kilobyte. Or actually, doesn't have to be Kilobyte. Whoever wants to play, whoever wants to do the dice rolling, although it typically has been, if not Lego Freak, Kilobyte has jumped in. Kill, do you want to be the designated die roller for today? Yeah, I know, exactly. Way to grammar, Mr. English Professor. I know it. Grammar fail. I know. But yeah, if you want to be the official die roller, then your first official act as die roller for today is going to be to try to see whether this thing goes. Okay, that sounds good. Then someone can take over at that point if need be. So, you're going to roll 1 die. On a 1 to 3, the gun fails. If you throw a 4 to 6, the net will have caught one of the gang. So let's see whether your catchman works. Catchman fails quite a bit, by the way. A 4. All right. Excuse me. So you have caught one of the gang. Your catchman fires successfully. All right. You are faced with a frightened boy who looks as though he hasn't had a good meal in days. You put him at ease and tell him that you want his gang's help. He takes you to a bar where the Raal hooligans hang out. R'-A-L. All right. Raal hooligan time. Your companion explains everything to the rest of the gang outside the food bar. You let them know that you were a rogue tracer working against the Groms. They seem to despise Groms as much as rival hooligan gangs. You all enter the bar where they order strange-sounding food. When it arrives, there are no cubes but a mass of small sea creatures immersed in yellow grains. You fear contamination and are at first reluctant to eat, but the smell is so wonderful that you cannot resist. The food turns out to be even better than your mother's homemade food cubes. Add 3 stamina points. Yeah, good meal, people. Alright. Seems to be normal on my end, X5, I think. Man. And something went down the wrong way earlier at breakfast. You pay and discuss the help you need. You let them know that you want access to a highly placed Grom Comterm. They argue among themselves but decide on 2 likely places, the Plaza de Toros or the Hacienda. The former, that will be the Plaza de Toros, is accessible only to androids, but they think they can get you in. The Hacienda is less heavily guarded. Do you choose the Plaza de Toros or the Hacienda? That would be my guess, 10. That would be my guess. So... And remember, this is to try to get to one of the comm terms that will let you access the mainframe that will hopefully give you information on where the president is being held. So, the Plaza de Toros or the Hacienda. And they say that the Plaza de Toros is more heavily guarded and normally is only restricted to androids, but that the gang thinks they can get you in. The Hacienda is less heavily guarded, but they don't know which is which, like which one is more likely to have the information that you need. Which one has a comm term. At least slamming down a bunch of water will make that happen. I feel like this drawing is extremely appropriate given the music that we're listening to. I feel like this works perfectly. Whoops.
Good.
Excellent. That was your plan.
Well, I don't know which song you're on right now, so...
Oh, I'm on the sort of Citadel, the star map music. The
I have barely played Mass Effect, so...
Oh, okay. Oh, it's so good. Super good.
I tried, it didn't grab me.
You know, I had the same experience when I played the first Mass Effect, but when I then played it later on and I streamed it and it actually went a lot better. And then when I got into it, I got to Mass Effect 2 and it was really good. And so yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like way back, my boyfriend from back then, he was a huge Mass Effect fan. He was like, "You have to play this," and so I was okay. Started the first game up. After an hour or so, I dropped it again, and then he was like, "Yo, no, play the second game. It's way better." Then I tried that, and same.
Oh, same effect. Yeah, I mean,
it didn't have a mass effect on me. Ha!
It didn't. Instead, it was just an ass effect. Is what you felt about the game. It's just.
No,
ass.
I get why people like it, but I'm just really not that much into shooters.
Ah, well, that makes sense.
That's my issue.
Yeah. That's definitely
especially cover-based shooters are not
definitely not going to be as good. I mean, I'm not that much of a shooter guy either, but I like the overall story quite a bit, so that was the thing that kind of grabbed me in the end. But yeah, I could. And also, I mean, I'm more of a fantasy person than science fiction, but I do like science fiction, and so Yeah, it was definitely it's not a game that would fit for everybody, I think. It took you 3 tries to get into Mass Effect when you did your marathon through all 3 games in about 8 days. Wow. You did some serious work on those then, Kill. That's a lot of hours to play at once. All right, hello, Elias. So it looks like Plaza de Toros is going to win this. I'm going to last call it though, just in case.
So what should I draw next?
Well, I don't know that there's been anything. I would guess that the Plaza de Toros is probably going to have something cool to draw, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like that's where we're going.
I could draw the androids, like
you could do that. That's true. That's also
how many were those?
Say again.
How many androids were there?
There was, I don't know that we've had a group. I mean, there was the one android that you saw talking to 2 other androids, but, they chatted for 3 seconds or something. There was the android that you encountered that was sweeping, like the sort of janitor android that was secretly a double agent. And then there was the android just now that you ended up properly believing was going to be a sketchy android, basically. So I think you've only actually met, in reality, 2 androids so far. Hey, Zergy, what's up? Hello, Marinda. So, I don't know how many you've met total, 4-ish, but only, 1 at a time. Okay, Plaza de Toros has 1. Okay. You head for the Plaza de Toros. Jose explains that it is built under a Grom-Ents complex. The Groms have revived bullfighting and have built their own bulls, since the real ones died out many years ago. Of course, that makes sense. The gang takes you to a manhole they sometimes use to get in to see some of the Grom sports. As you turn a corner, you bump into a wanted criminal, fairly high on the list. Do you attack him as a rogue tracer, or do you ignore him? Ha! It's the Spider-Man problem, right, chat?
Spider-Man problem?
Do you stop the criminal, or do you say, not my problem? Let's see.
Why is that a Spider-Man problem?
Well, because maybe if you let him go, because that's not your main mission, maybe he goes and kills your Uncle Ben. It's possible. Or it could be that by attacking him,
dies in Spider-Man. Spoilers.
That's true. Or if you do this, you could be wasting time if you attacked him. So you have to decide that. Are you going to attack him as a rogue tracer, or are you going to ignore him? Maybe figure eyes on the prize, but then maybe he's going to, you don't know.
I am so not used to drawing robots. Oh my god. That's the problem when you always only draw fantasy stuff.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of machinery to draw usually.
But to be especially useful, I would think, for doing like Warforged type characters that you might run into in D&D, for example, or a character like steampunk robots, that type of thing.
Well, I never played with any people who played Warforged before. So.
Ah, I see.
I think the only time I ever drew Warforged was when I did this one sketch for for your D&D group.
Right. Yeah, for TikTok.
Beyond.
TikTok, yeah.
TikTok.
Well, you did awesome on that one, so.
Well, I mean, it was just the head.
Oh, well, okay. Down below was just not, just a bunch of cloudy figure. You only get to see his head. Marinda says, who is what guy? I'm sorry, Chaotix. Who's what guy? Uncle Ben? I'm talking about Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. And yes, Kilobyte, Uncle Ben dies. Sorry for the spoiler. Unfortunately, that was the case back in 1950 or whatever when Spider-Man was first created, so.
It's in every movie, except the newest one, actually.
I think the statute of limitations on knowing that Uncle Ben died is pretty much over, I believe.
Next thing you're gonna spoil for people that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So.
What? Superman is from Krypton. What? Okay, let's see. TariToons Marinda asks, I did some question about drawing. I did research online on how to draw manga style. Everybody said learn how to draw real-life people in poses first. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. The problem with most manga art styles is that they are very, very stylized. And they usually... when you look at like the great masters of manga art, like the really good people who are very good at drawing, like Akira Toriyama, for example.
Right.
He also did like this. I think I mentioned that last time that he made this one tutorial guidebook for drawing, and
Right.
like the first thing he said was, get yourself some like fashion magazines and draw all the models in there, and then like reduce all the details until you. And at one point you will have developed your own art style.
Okay. So yeah,
Also,
you do.
especially manga uses a lot of shortcuts that only really still work when you know what you're doing.
Right. It reminds me of there was this artistic study that my dad used to have in his house, in our house, which I think I still have it somewhere. But it was basically these 3 pictures, and it started with these pictures of these 2 houses on a lake. It was by Picasso, was the study, and it was 2 houses on a lake, and then the second one was just like the outline of the houses, and then the third one was just basically 2 squares. And so a lot of people are like, well, what is that 2 squares thing? And it's like, well, if you just started with the squares, you wouldn't know what you were doing, right? You were starting with something that was much more realistic and then stripped it out to its essence, basically. And it wasn't supposed to be great art. It was just sort of an artistic study. But it was interesting that they began with what they saw, and then they could kind of, tie out of it as well. So much work. We'll see if I end up pursuing this hobby. It sounds hard. I mean, I would argue that most things that are enjoyable and fun are work at a certain level, and if they're worth doing, they're worth doing right. It's just that if you really enjoy doing it, the hard part doesn't, I mean, it is hard, but it doesn't seem, tedious because it's something that you're enjoying doing in the process of doing it. I mean, I'm just talking from the perspective of someone with an interest in writing and music, but I would say I've heard this from dancers, and I imagine it's the same for visual artists, that anything is going to take work, but it doesn't feel as much like work, when you're in the process of doing something you enjoy.
Yes. I mean, I started out with drawing manga stuff, but like at some point I was kind of fed up with it because everybody was saying, "Oh, you're drawing Sailor Moon," and that kind of got very annoying after a while.
No, I'm not.
So I started looking at other stuff, and also like especially I read a lot of Kenshin as a kid, and there are always these small editorials in the back where the artist goes into detail what inspired the characters, and he like 90% of the villains in this book are based on Marvel superheroes.
Right.
So that's the thing. So that was like the moment where it clicked for me. Like, yeah, you have to look everywhere for inspiration. Don't just stick with one thing.
Yep. Yep. I was actually talking about this at only takes a couple hours to write bad but readable short stories. It'll take hundreds of hours to make bad but lookable art. Yes and no. That's true. I would say that it's harder to cover over, perhaps, at least initially. But I don't think it's true that it takes a couple hours. I think you're underestimating a bit. I think most of the people who are coming to this channel and most of the people who are asking about writing are already far more, how do I put this, literate than people who are just like, I could just sit down and dash off a short story. Like, those stories are awful. Like, I don't mean they're not readable, in my opinion. They don't do anything. First of all, they don't do anything. They're riddled with typos and grammatical mistakes. They're hermetically sealed. Like, they don't do anything. They just lie flat on the page. They're often offensive. Like, they're just everything about them is bad. So I think you might be underestimating a little bit. Like, for you, it would probably take a couple hours to write a bad but readable short story. But that's because you're not your average, person, right? Like, you're not your average person who's like, oh, writing might be fun to try. Like, jumping up and down in place might be fun to try. Like, you're more into it than that. As Classicore said, like, writing is harder, There you go. You've already sunk hundreds and thousands of hours of writing practice from schoolwork. Oh, Miranda, would it were true, my friend, that students of mine were sunk hundreds and thousands of hours. Oh man, for some of my students that I've had in the past, I would take tens of hours. That would be an advancement. No, I mean, it depends on who they are, obviously. They're always different, but there are some students for whom hundreds would be sort of a staggering experience. So, all right, let's do this attack as a rogue tracer. Let's do it up. Okay. Rogue tracer attack. Rogue tracer attack. Okay. You cannot restrain yourself. Jose and the gang watch and wonder as you flip over and take on the rogue in unarmed combat. I don't entirely know what flip over means. I guess you just leap over him. And take on the rogue in unarmed combat. Okay, so here is the rogue. Alright guys, now you have to defeat this rogue, because if you don't, then you would really have to say, Rogue won. Thank you, I'll be here all week.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Tip your waitress. Please try the chicken. Nice, Classic War. That's awesome, dude. Spending more time is not common. There you go, 10, exactly. Alright guys, so here we go. Boo! See, I think that's the good I think that's a good combination. Zergy with the boo, 10 of clubs with a laugh out loud. That's what I'm looking for. That's the combo that I want. Plus the slow clap. Okay, so here we go. So the way this is going to work is Kilobyte is going to roll a die, 2 dice as he's just done. 10 plus 9 is 19. I am then going to roll, and it's an 18. So it's not enough, and the rogue gets dropped by 2 points. By the way, if you ever roll, in the process of doing this, if you ever roll a, let me double check, double sixes, you have deactivated the android. So if you ever roll double sixes, you've deactivated the android. Comes in with Rotten Tomatoes. What's up, Wolfstrike? What a raisin of a joke. Man, Classcore. Why you gotta be like that? It doesn't even make any sense. This is you saying raisin. It's just like, let me just add the word in raisin to irritate our... Okay.
And it still works.
It still works, I know.
Yeah,
15, okay, I need a 7 to tie. 8 to beat. Alright, the android. I mean, not the android, what am I saying? Actually, this is not an android, this is a human, so never mind. The double sixes thing doesn't work. It's not an android. But it does beat you in the gut. Wow, a 4. Apparently you took this guy for granted. 14, he needs a 6 to tie, a 7 to beat, he got a 6. So you guys just sort of slap at each other, slap fight. I see. Yeah, there you go, Classic War. 10, there we go. All right, 7. That's not enough, and he drops down to 4. All right. Now we got a 7. He's got an 8, but that's not going to be enough. So he drops 2 more points of stamina. He now sort of looks at you heavily, breathing heavily. Doesn't look at you heavily, he's just breathing heavily. And an 8. And he rolls a 3. All right. You knock him to the ground, wrap up the rogue in plastinet, mark him, and give the gang shared discs in the kill, which should keep them from going hungry for many months. Add 1 luck point. Hell yeah, 1 luck point. You go through the manhole. That's what I'm talking about. You are in a tunnel. It is dark and damp. There are many pipes of various sizes stretching into the distance. Deduct 2 time units. As you walk towards a faint light, you hear a rattle behind you. You turn around and see 2 red eyes slowly coming towards you. They belong to a, pretty much bag and tag, it's right. They belong to a, in quotes, service rat, which is inspecting the subducts and making repairs. You know that these machines are equipped with blasters to remove any debris or blockages. Do you decide to let it pass over you, or would you rather run towards the end of the tunnel? So, would you want to let it pass over you or run to the end of the tunnel? Alright, there we go. Let it pass over us or run towards the end of the tunnel. Ten is noping right out of there. 10's like, hell no. Don't want to deal with any of this garbage. Zergy also is like, let's nope right out of there. Okay. All right. 3 votes for run towards the end of the tunnel. 2 votes for let it pass over us. Let me last call this up. I love the the grin is really funny on the Android.
That's very rude. This is not a grin. I don't have any facial features. I cannot make any other face.
It just looks like a grin. I am enjoying my job.
But
Whistle
in
while
reality,
you
he's
work.
Just screaming on the inside console.
Right, yeah. The tears of a clown. Whistle while you work, but he can't actually whistle, so he's just terribly like...
Oh, that's so sad.
just look while you work. This guy's awesome. I want him to be like the mascot of this playthrough.
Thank you. I mean, have you read Fables, the comic book series?
Yes, I have a little bit. I actually have interviewed Bill Willingham before.
Whoa.
Yep, I did because I did The Wolf Among Us.
Of that somewhere?
Yes, I do. It's it was on Speculate and my podcast, and I don't remember what. Oh gosh, it was probably 2-3 years ago. It was shortly after I played The Wolf Among Us, and so I was interested in that, chatting with him about it a couple of years ago, I believe.
Be sure to share a link for that later.
Okay, I will do that.
But yeah, it's like kind of with Flycatcher, who became like the fan favorite, even though he's just
Yes.
in the background the entire
Yes,
time,
yes, yeah,
but
exactly.
he's a janitor.
Exactly. What you know what?
loves it.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, what the fans really like is often different than what is sort of to be expected. Got to listen to more Speculate. Hell yeah, man. We've actually been on hiatus for the last couple of months, but we are relaunching here in a week or two, so I'm looking forward to it. It's just a high-pitched electronic buzz, the whistle. And Elias says you should draw a steam whistle on him. It's so funny.
But this is in space.
In space! Come on, Elias. None of this crossover nonsense. Let's straight up, cold, hard reality of science. And an android sweeping. Okay, let's see. We're going to run towards the end of the tunnel. Okay. You run towards the end of the tunnel, splashing through puddles and tripping in the loose wiring. Suddenly you feel empty space beneath you and you fall down a shaft. Test your luck. Thank you for the follow, Webster. Welcome to the Arbonauts. Test your luck. All right, Kilobyte, you have to test your luck. So the way we test luck in here, for those of you who don't know, is Kilobyte's going to roll 2 dice. We're going to compare the number to the luck score, which is currently 8. 8 or less, you're lucky. If you're above 8, you're unlucky. Either way, you drop a point of luck, because every time you test your luck, it's more likely you'll be unlucky down the line. So. All right, so Kilobyte. Testing luck, testing. Oh, did my chat freeze? No, it didn't freeze. Summoning Kilobyte. Summoning Kilobyte. Did Kilobyte say that he had to go to lunch and I missed it? No, he has a vote. Yeah, we're going to be testing, we're testing our luck. Kilobyte, testing luck. Kill. Well, if Kilobyte is not here, then I may need to get a replacement. What's up, Dave? How you doing? Wait for it. No, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get somebody. I'm going to get someone to step in for him. Oh, there we go. If need be. 3. Sorry. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just want to make sure everything was okay. All right. So you are indeed lucky. You are indeed lucky. Okay, you catch hold of a hot pipe and slide painfully to the bottom. Alright, you land in a puddle, your hands burning. You are in a large chamber with an exit to the left. You look up at the shaft, trip over something, and fall headfirst into the puddle. You feel around and find the head of a service android and some other bits. You quickly do some temporary repair work on the eye and brain region, and you are greeted with a low rumble which sounds like, "Hello." "Hello," says the android. "I'm sorry, sir. I have lost all automotive functions and cannot complete my tasks. I will self-destruct now." You order it to shut up and to tell you the way out of the tunnel. It insists that it must self-destruct, but it seems to have broken the circuits which enable it to do so. So as I understand it, you're having this negotiation with the head of an android that wants to self-destruct but can't. So it's just like, I need to self-destruct. You bargain with it that you will help if it tells you the way out. It thinks for a while, its eyes dim and then light up. "Okay," it announces. It tells you to take the tunnel and walk for 400 meters, then take the left fork, and on the third foundation that you will find a ladder leading up, third foundation shaft, you will find a ladder leading up into the Ents complex. You connect up its circuits and it begins to dissolve with what could be a smile on its face. You walk to the ladder. Damn, the life of the android, man.
This book is dark.
Yeah, I know. Especially for androids. The ladder is strong but very greasy and slippery. There are no features on the smooth steel shafts, and you rest for several gravity minutes every once in a while. The light from above gets nearer. Deduct 2 time units. Right. Almost halfway out of our time. Eventually you reach the top. You stand on a small platform and glare at a heavy metal grill. There is no way of forcing it. You look around carefully and discover a crack in the wall opposite the grill. You follow the crack all the way around until you come to a metal ring hidden by the dust. A door opens when you twist the ring, and you step out, exhausted, and look around. The door shuts behind you with a soft clunk. Oh, this one's going to be a good one for you, Terry, when you're done with the Android one. Alright, guys. You are in a stadium. There is a very high wall all around, and across on the far side, you see this. I am very excited. Let me get what you see. There we go. You see a strange creature of Gromulan make, like a huge bull with long, steely horns. It stands stock still. You look around the bull ring. There are 3 shelters, equidistant from one another. You walk carefully towards one of them and notice, too late, that you have broken a beam. The bull is activated. It turns towards you, gives an electronic snort, scrabbles at the ground, and charges at you. Do you use the catchman, run back to the door, or dodge left to the nearest shelter? Everything is great when you're an Arvanaut. Okay, so... run back to the door, or dodge left to the nearest shelter. Alright guys, what's it going to be? Use the catchman, run back to the door, or dodge left to the nearest shelter. No, not a bull with horns. Bull. Bull. Oh, did I see your message? Oh, stepping away from lunch right away. Okay, got it. Thanks, Kill. Would someone be willing to take over for Kilobyte? All you need to do is to have 2 6-sided dice. If you have actual 6-sided dice, that's great. But if not, you can just use one of the online dice rollers. You were on the honor system, so you need to be honorable and honest about what the numbers are that you roll. But I just need someone to do that. Would someone be willing to do that? To step in to roll the die while Kilobyte is at lunch? Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chaotix. Good guy, Chaotix. Thank you. All right, we have a lot of people that are saying to dodge left. I like how everyone's like, screw that. The catchment's not going to work. And running back to the door. I feel like in the far future, you would think that bounty hunters would have figured out something more effective than a net gun that jams half the time. Like, I feel like there's more, you know, more options.
Maybe this is Lobo logic. Have you read Lobo?
No.
Okay. Well, another DC thing.
Okay.
I'm reading nothing but DC comics lately. So he's a space bounty hunter, but everything has very like metalhead aesthetics. And everything is very primitive in a way, but also ridiculous, and it's awesome. I love it. So, like, there's like one story where he works as a trucker, for example, and the spaceship looks like a truck, but in space. So, yeah.
I got it. So it's basically Spaceballs-ish, so to speak.
Yeah, very much so. I haven't watched that movie in ages, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they had a van there, right? Instead of the Millennium Falcon.
Yep. And they had, and the ship was actually a Winnebago. It was like a RV, basically, that kind of flew through space. Lobo is super violent.
Oh, it's definitely not for kids.
I thought you said global, and I was like, but I have not.
Lobo.
Lobo.
Like,
I have not read Lobo either. So. All right, so it looks like Chad is pretty definitive on wanting to dodge left to the nearest shelter. Like, screw this idea of running away. I mean, running back to the door or firing the random... Like, I feel like a gun that works only... Like, a net gun that works half the time pretty much reminds me of every toy I tried to jury-rig when I was a kid. Like, I feel most things I tried to do, I'm like, this should work. Oh, it doesn't work right. Oh. So. Okay. So, we are going to dodge left to the nearest shelter. You were killed immediately. No, I'm just kidding. You reach the shelter just as the bull slams its horns into the heavy plastic. You look around the shelter. There are 2 short spears there which seem to be armed with impact neuron splat. I kid you not, that's what it says, neuron splat. You guess that there must be a proper entrance behind one of the 3 shelters. You will have to cross to the others to find out. You pick up the spears and rush out. Which shelter do you pick? The left one or the right one? Left one, right one. Which shelter should we pick? Left one or right one? Yeah, I mean, neuron splat certainly sounds better than neuron fizzle. I mean, you'd think neuron splat would actually work out pretty well. It just struck me this is a whole sci-fi day for me because on Pen and Pixels later on today, I'm going to be starting out Star Trek Judgment Rights. So it's going to be all science fiction all the time. And I'm teaching a course in science fiction this semester, so it all fits. All right, we have 2 votes for the left one, 1 vote for the right one. Oh man, every so often I pick up notes from the soundtrack and I remember where I was in the game when I was hearing that music for the first time. And I'm like, oh, the nostalgia is real. I'm sure that I mean, that happens all the time, I imagine, with the Baldur's Gate music for you too, but...
I don't don't know. Like, the problem with the Baldur's Gate music is that I have listened to it so much that it kind of became my personal background music.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I associate it with a lot of things.
I got you.
I have that with the Chrono Trigger soundtrack.
Right. Yep. Our orientation now versus when we entered the bullpen. Well, so you dodged left. So when you come out of that shelter, that means that I assume, 10, that means the shelter to the left would be the far shelter, the one that was on the far side of the arena when you first came in, and the one to the right would be the one closer to the door that you entered. Because it said there were 3 shelters that were equidistant. You dodged left from the door, so that would suggest to me that the left from there would be the other shelter that was across the way, if I'm reading that properly. All right. Left one, all right. Last call. 3 votes, 2 votes, 3 votes, 2 votes. And wait for it. Okay. The left one wins. All right, so we're going to the left one. Okay. You head for the left-hand shelter. The bull charges you, and you stand up in front of it with your spears held aloft. All right, here we go. So now you're going to be fighting this creature, which is the bull android. Good news is that it is not that powerful. It's only got a skill of 7 and a stamina of 6 now that you've got your neuron splat shields. So you should be all good to go. So Chaotix, what I need you to do is you're going to roll 2 dice. And if you could tell me like what the numbers on the dice are. So like roll 2 dice, like say like 11 equals 6 plus 5. So you got like 6 on one die and 5 on the other, if you follow what I mean. And then I'm going to do the same on my side, and that's going to be how we're going to go forward. If you ever roll double 6s, we're in good shape. Oh, no! 1 plus 1 equals 2. Chaotix starting out not with a bang. 17, okay. 12, rather. 5 for the tie. 4. Fortunately, though, the bull android is perhaps overconfident, so you neuron splat it with the shield. It's a bullroid. Yes, we are fighting the bull android. So you got to the shelter, and the bull android charged you. So you're fighting the bull android with the spears. So that's what happens, Ergi.
Wouldn't the bull android be like a Minotaur robot?
Yeah, she was sort of. It actually looks exactly like a bull, like a robotic bull.
No, because android implies that it looks like a human.
That it looks like what?
Yeah. I thought android implies that it's a robot that looks like a human.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Andro?
Yeah, no, I know. Usually it would be, but in this, well, yeah, they probably shouldn't call it an android, I guess. Basically what they're trying to do is avoid calling it a robot. I think that's basically what they're doing. They're trying to avoid calling it a robot, like bull robot, you know? Like in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, technically there are creatures that are not called android. Well, they're called replicants anyway, but there's in Blade Runner. But they're called androids in the book, and the electronic animals like the electronic sheep and the electronic owl and everything, those things technically are robotic. And I don't believe they call them androids. They call them something different, but I could imagine people being confused and just saying everything that's not human is an android. So, no, it's just a form of a robot, because andro could be like androgynous, Miranda. It doesn't have to be, it wouldn't be gender oriented, just humanoid android. But yeah, basically it's a bull droid. Let's just call it that. Okay, so 6 plus 1 equals 7.
Like a Taurus droid?
Yes. There you go.
Work.
Like a Taurus robot.
I don't know if droid is Greek or Latin, so.
Droid, I think, would be Latin, I think. Genoid is female. What is male if not android? No, male would be like... Well, see, it's a little confusing because humanity generally refers to men and women together, and man obviously is in both. I'm trying to think of what would be the sort of female version of it. But see, android saves you from having to figure out either one. You just say android, and then you decide if it's male or female, which is what happens in Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. 2 + 2 = 4, and he gets a 2. Wow, Chaotix. Chaotix knew exactly when to zig and zag with this bull android. You take this thing down with no problem at all. You have damaged the bull, which is now fallen over and is leaking lubricant. You rush to the shelter and find a door. Deduct 2 time units, so we are now halfway through our time, people. Halfway through our time to save the president. I know. The bull is clearly thrown off by you. All right. So, and I think we're going to come up with a save point here, because that was fairly effective, I would say. Okay. You open the small door and find yourself in a long, empty corridor. You tread gently and watch out for alarm beams. Eventually, you see a door marked Exit, and another door marked Grompole and XL Series only, strictly no admittance to any other androids. Which door do you take, the Exit or the other one? And of course, remember everybody, remember what you're here for in the first place. All right. We are 1-1 in the early voting. In the exit polling, as it were. I'm just here to play with my net splatters. Neuron splat and net guns. It's a strange future. Yes, I can. I can switch back. I was actually just waiting until we moved out of that, so thank you for reminding me. Yes. Ah! Yes! The backwards baseball cap. That is the best.
Thank you.
Oh my god. I absolutely love that guy. We gotta come up with a name for him.
I was just about to say. Like the best would be like some kind of like random number and letters thrown together, like in Star Wars. But then when you actually read it out, it's a thing, the name.
Maybe like the broom BRM X5, like the broom X5 or broom X2.
Like 8ROOM or something.
Yeah, room. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Even with a background.
I love my job at all times. Bzz. Instead of Bender from Futurama, this is Sweeper. 3 room. There you go, Chaotix. I actually had a creature in one of my short stories that was called a Sweeper, but it was much lower to the ground. It was sort of like a advanced Roomba. If you ever know those robots that roll around on the floor and pick up dust and stuff. It's sort of more my imagination, what I imagined it being, than an awesome looking dude with a backwards baseball cap. I like that backwards baseball cap too is like part of the design. You know, like it's actually probably metallic, and you know, they actually had to manufacture
no, I was
that.
thinking that it's like actually just like a really.
That he just found.
Yeah,
Okay.
something that you found in the trash or something. Oh, this looks cool. I should have this.
It's Broomba. There you go, Div. Broomba. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna go with the other door. All right. Seems logical. You walk towards the door and it slides open. You enter and find yourself looking at the back of an administration android. It senses you and spins around. Admin android. All right, guys, if you ever wanted to attack, if you've ever been annoyed waiting at, like, in the States, it would be the Department of Motor Vehicles, you know, or if you've ever had to, like, wait talking to some really obnoxious secretary or receptionist while you were just trying to get in to see your doctor or something, this is for you. You're battling an administrator. An admin android. All right, let's do this up, Chaotix. Remember, Chaotix, no pressure. You're just rolling dice to stand in for all those who have ever been frustrated by an administrator. Just saying, no pressure, though. 5 plus 3 equals 8. All right, so that is an 18. He needs a 13 to tie. Obviously wasn't going to get that, and doesn't. Boo, admins rule all. You can be a good administrator, Dragon, but you have to admit that's you know, there is at least an equal number of incompetent to competent admins. Is that fair to say? All right, next one, please, Chaotix. 4 plus 1 is 5. All right, so that's a 15. He needs a 10 to tie and 11 to beat. Does not get it. I mean, you guys have a 5-point advantage on this android, so... I seem to like admins. We're fighting Arvbot. What? Hey, what's up, Hillness? Doing well, man. No. Arvbot is the living incarnation of all good things relating to bots. So, just like Arcanusbot is. So we can't, you know. 6 plus 6, 12. Oh, yeah, you just deactivate it. It's funny, you would have killed it anyway, but you sort of reach around it, press the button, the big red button on the back that says, please, you know, please turn off. So it goes... True, because you're a cool admin. All right. So you have won. All right, get your thinking caps on for this one, people. You drag the Grom pole behind a cupboard, but it begins to self-destruct in your hands. These things love to self-destruct. You walk towards a door marked No Admittance, Excel Class Only. The door slides open easily. There is no one around. In front of you is a COM term. We found it, guys. A CROM term. And on the screen, you see the following set of numbers. Now for this, I'm going to have to... I'll do this on Notepad here. Let me increase the font to 36. And then... All right, I'm going to put this on screen, guys. This is what you see on the terminal. All right, the question is, what is the missing number? We have to key in the missing number. What is it, guys? This is what you see. You see 11, 19, 29, 6, 11, 16, 17, 17, and then a question mark. So what is the missing number? Where are my expert mathematicians / Sudoku people at? It's pie. It's always pie. Chocolate cream pie is delicious, but I'm not sure that pie is what we're looking for here. That's interesting, Hillness. That sounds a lot like a Warforged, actually. Or actually a little bit Shadowrunny, too. 22 divided by 7 is also pi, or 3.14. All right, guys, what do you think? Here's your puzzle. 11, 19, 29, 6, 11, 16, 17, 17, question mark. What is the missing number? $27. Can you explain, Chaotix, can you explain why? I haven't looked yet, so I don't know. Oh, that's interesting, Hillis. That is interesting, actually. Add the 10s and take the highest ones. Yeah, but what's with that middle row, though? What is up with that middle row? Let me make sure that I put it in correctly. 11, 19, 29, 6, 11, 16. Yeah, I put it in right. Yeah, it doesn't apply to the top one. See, I mean, so 11 plus 6, if you took it as a column, 11 plus 6 downwards is 17. But 19 plus 11 is not 17, so that doesn't work. And 17 plus 11 is not 29 either. Yeah, but I thought about that, but 29 minus 11 is not 17, and 17 plus 11 is not 29, obviously. I mean, I was thinking like 6 plus 11 is 1/6, so maybe you replace the ones digit with the number that comes before it. But then if that were true, 1, 9, 6. Tens value is the sums of the tens value, but the ones value is the highest of the ones value. Well, let's see.
I'm done with this picture.
I love that picture. So there it is. So we're gonna. I'm definitely, that's one that's gonna have to be tweeted out later. All right. So there's our boy Broomba. There's our boy Broomba. All right. So right now what they're working on is we had the bull situation. Right now we're trying to figure out the Sudoku-ish type puzzle. You're right, it does not add up like a Sudoku pattern, Dragon, but...
So what do you want me to draw now?
So... let's see. I'm trying to think if I can... what else, like right at the moment. I don't, I would say maybe add in a couple of details, well, because I can't think of anything on this page. Like, I feel like shortly hereafter, or the bull. You could definitely do the Battle of the Bull.
I can do the bull. Can you give me the picture again so that I can...
Yes, it is. Hold on a second. There we go. The first two in each row is the third number minus 1. Oh! 33. That's a good call, Zergy. That is a good call. Yeah. I think that Zergy's right. 11 plus 19 is 30 minus 1, 29. 6 plus 11 is 17 minus 1 is 16. 17 plus 17 is 34. All right, let's key it in and see. That's a good call, Zergy. Let's see if Zergy Stardust is right. Is it 33? You have calculated correctly. A plus B minus 1 equals C. Good job, Zergy. The screen shows a menu and you pick security information. Another menu appears which includes, with typical Grom efficiency, an option for the president. You press this option and all you get is this. Nice work, Zergy. All right, so here's this number. Here is the number. It's just 2 rows this time. There we go. And I'll fix that. I know you can't see it yet. Whoops. There we go. 212, and then in parentheses 59, and then 94, and then I know I was thinking that illness. Different type of Grom. 737, and then in parentheses question mark, and then 173. I'm just trying to see if any of those things add up to 212. Like 94. Let's see. Nobody said there was going to be math. Hey, if you want to be a rogue tracer, Elias, you know. If you want to be a bounty hunter, man. This is what it's like. Keep that in mind. If you've ever said to yourself, I could be a bounty hunter, just keep in mind there's math. I'll tell you right now, that would keep me from being a bounty hunter.
I mean, just keeping the books right and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. Okay. That's more like it. 212, 59, 94, 173, 737. So it's got to be whatever that top, it's something about that top pattern. So, 282. Okay, I'll buy it. Why? Why is it 282? 212 minus 59 is not 94. 212 divided by 59 doesn't even work. Subtract double the number in brackets. Really? Okay, let me see. 212, 118. $112, 18. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm willing to go with it. Are people on board? You guys on board with 282? Shall we key it in and see if the collective brilliance of chat? It basically is, this basically is Twitch plays Bounty Hunter. You guys realize. That's what this is. The math adds up. All right. Let's see if it is. You are correct. A minus C divided by 2 equals B. Hell yeah. A submenu appears and asks for a question. You key in, is the galactic president in Madrid? It answers in the negative. Then you ask it where the president is being kept. It replies, he is at a high security base station, and a symbol appears of a circle with a horizontal line through it. The message continues, reference 169A, but it breaks off and another message asks for your Grom family code letter. Then illegal access begins to flash across the screen. You rush back to the exit. Detect 2 time units. All right, so Twitch plays math tests. Yeah, basically. All right, so we got this right. So let's see if we can get this clue in here. So, president in high security base station, symbol of circle with horizontal line through it, reference.
We had a spear while we fought the bull, right?
Yeah, 2 of them.
2 spears.
2 short spears with neurons splat on it. God knows what that
I
means.
have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a technical term. No, I know. Terry asked me to put up the reference drawing of the bull.
Oh no, you can put it away at the screenshot.
Okay.
And have this up the entire time.
Okay. Let me do that then. And aha! I love it. I already kind of can see what it's going to be like. Neurosplat is like robotic ectoplasm. Yeah, apparently. Okay, so there we go, guys. So we've got some information. The president is in a high security base station. Symbol of circle with a horizontal line through it, and it's reference 169A. That's as much as we were able to get from it. And now we are less than half of our time is left. But we got valuable information that obviously we needed. So you go through the door marked exit. Alarm lights are flashing and you hear the door lock itself behind you. A screen to the left prints a message. Life form access. Expel oxygen from all areas in 20 units. Mark the 20 units in the oxygen box on your adventure sheet. We'll call this provision for now. And make deductions as instructed. If the units reach 0, you can no longer breathe and your mission is over. Well, that's great. We definitely needed some other amount of timing, right? Okay, let's set this up. Thank you for the follow, Guxerix. Welcome to the Argonauts. All right, we're going to add another save point here insofar as... There we go. Okay. You are in Red Room, Level 1. There are 2 doors leading downwards. Reduce oxygen level by 1. Do you go left or right? And by the way, let me just suggest to everybody that if someone is able to keep like a rough map or a rough track of which direction you guys went, that would probably be helpful. Just like a rough, direction of where we went. So, Red Room, Level 1. There are 2 doors leading downwards. Do we go left or right? More like robotic ooze. This is good music for this. Okay. Classico votes for left. Okay. This looks like this maze is going to be a bit of a doozy, folks, so buckle up here. All right, so we got 3 votes for left, 1 vote for right. Still 3 votes for left, 1 vote for right. I'm going to last call this up. You know what, Chaotix? I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe? I honestly do not know. I'm not sure how big the map is going to ultimately be. So your guess is as good as mine. I guess it also depends on how small you draw, you know? Hey, what's up, Epidemic? Welcome to a maze, Epidemic. Welcome to a maze. Okay. So, we have closed the poll. There we go. And left wins with 3 votes. Okay, so we're going to go left. All right. You are now in yellow room, level 2. So you went left. You're now in yellow room, level 2. Reduce oxygen by 1. There is 1 door up. There is a left door down and a right door down. 1 door up goes back to where you just came from. So the door up goes right to where you just came from, just so you know. So you could go there, that's where you just came from, or you could go left or right. So I assume we're going to I'm not going to give you the choice of going up, because you just came from there. So you can go a left door down or a right door down. All right, there we go. So there it is. Left door down, right door down. Yes, exactly. So we took the left door down to get here, and now we have another choice of left door down or right door down. And I think I see that chat is doing what often gets done, which is continuing to go in one direction till you can't go anymore, as opposed to zigging and zagging, which is a wise, long-term maze maker, maze runner decision. All right, so far 3 votes for left door, 4 votes for left door down. Okay. I'm going to give this a last call. 4 votes for left door down. Anyone else can jump in if they wish. By the way, since we're coming up to the top of 2 o'clock, top of the hour, I will remind everybody that if you are new to the stream, thank you for being here. You are watching a playthrough of Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 27, Star Strider, where chat is the hero and makes the decisions. I am joined, as always, by TariToons, our extremely talented cartoonist and illustrator, who is live illustrating some scenes from the book that you guys can see in the middle of your screen there. And if you guys like what you see in here, please make sure to follow the channel. Please try to support the channel if you can through the various methods, including, if you can, the Patreon with !Arftreon. That's the number that's right above this little video window where I'm speaking to you from. And also the sub button, which is that purple button above your video window in Twitch. Looks like everyone's going with left door down, so I'm going to close the poll. Here we go. So now you're going to go left again. So left door down leads us here. Okay. You are now in green room level 3. You are in green room level 3. Deduct 1 oxygen unit. There is a door leading up. That's the door, I believe, that you just came from. Or there's a door to the left leading down, or a door to the right leading down. Stop me if you've heard that before. So again, I'm not going to give you the choice to go back up because you just came from there. So instead, I'm just going to give you door to the left leading down, or Door to the right leaning down. So we've now gone down and left twice. So which door should we take? Door to the left leaning down or door to the right leaning down? I know, exactly 10. Well, remember, these are the Gromulans. This is how they do things, you know. Yeah, it's a $ epidemic. Exclamation point vote is for Arcanus bot. But not Arvbot. Alright, sounds good, Hilness. Thanks, man. Good to see you as always, Hilness. Catch you soon, dude. Last green room I was part of didn't take long for me to get kicked out. Really, class score? Have a good day and night, Hilness. Be well. Have fun at work as much as you can. Alright, so... Door to the left leading down. Alright, we have 3 votes for door to the left leading down. Chat continuing its system. Keep going to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Yes, yes indeed. Dragon Spear has decided to break the pattern. Break the conformity! Go right instead. Well, it keeps going down in each case. We keep going down in each case, so... Technically not a circle yet. Fight the power! Alright, I'm going to last call this. I'm going to last call this here. Don't you dare mess with my man. I have this image, Chaotix, of, like, as we're going through the map, like, Satara Shadow Space is just pulling out, like, her graph paper that she's, like, you know, very carefully drawing out all of the, you know. Fortunately, her father ran an art supply store, and her mother was a skilled mathematician who... Alright. There we go. Door to the left leading down. Right, yeah, yeah. Okay, door to the left leading down, so here we go. Oh, we got to our first dead end. You are in Black Room, level 4. Reduce oxygen by 1 unit. There is 1 door leading up. Okay, so we were in Black Room, level 4. 1 door leading up. So we go right back to where we were. And then we're going to go the other way, because there's nothing to vote on, because we just did it. So now we're going to go to the right. Okay, Chaotic, so we're going up from Black Room, level 4. Back up to, now we're in Green Room, level 3. And instead of taking the left door down this time, we're going to take the right door down. So we're in Green Room, level 3. We deduct an oxygen point while we're here. And we are going to take a door to the right going down this time. See when you follow Beyonce's instructions. Okay. Oh, man. Check this out. So, when you took that door down to the right, you missed a few minutes. Oh, God, Zergy. I don't know how to tell you to catch up, man. This is going to be a little difficult. So, when you go down to the right from that room... Okay, sounds good. Be good, class score. Thanks for stopping by, man, as always. Alright, here we go. You are in Brown Room, level 4. Reduce oxygen by 1 unit. There is 1 door leading up. So both of the doors out of that green room were dead ends. So the room leading down, the door leading down to the black room from the left, that was a dead end. And now we took the door to the right leading down. We ended up in brown room level 4, also a dead end. So now we go back up to green room level 3, and then we have to go back up again. We have to go back up again, after losing one, to yellow room level 2. So now we're in yellow room level 2. Now, we have to do now that we are in yellow room level 2, so I hope you're following me, Chaotix. Now that we're in yellow room level 2, there's only one door that we didn't take other than the one that we originally came from, and that is a right door down. So now we're in yellow room level 2, and we're going to take a right door down from yellow room level 2. Does all that make sense? Okay, you're with me? Cool. Right door level down. So right door down. When we take the right door down, what have we got? You were in a violet room level 3. Violet room level 3. Reduce oxygen by 1 unit. There is one door leading up, the one that we just came from, and there's another one leading straight down. So again, there's no choice to make here. We're going to keep going straight down, presumably. So we're going straight down from here. So violet room level 3, and we're just going straight down because that's the only other door in the room. Okay? That door, I'm trying to go as slowly as I can and repeat myself, and it is a little complicated, Zergy, but Chaotix is mapping it. As we leave the violet room going down, we find ourselves in gray room level 4. We're now halfway out of our oxygen. Gray room level 4. Reduce oxygen by 1 unit. There is one door leading up, and there's one door leading out. Oh, we made it out! We made it out. There's one door leading out. The door slides shut behind you. You were in the side street behind the Plaza de Toros. Your chronograph beeps at you and you realize that you have to catch the bus. You look over your shoulder as a guard comes out of the same door, fires a blast in the other direction, and runs off. You make your way to the terminal, add 2 luck points, and move on. Nice! We made it out, people. Thank you for the follow, Menia Louie. Welcome to the Arvanauts. We made it out. Thanks for the map, Chaotic. It turns out, so basically, as I understand it, we went like left down, left down, left down, left down, right? And then we went up, 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 up. Or no, actually, no. We went left down, left down, left down. We went up 1, went right down. That was the dead end. So we went up 1, up 1, up 1. To the one right below the first room we went into. Then we went right down, and then it was down, down, and out. So I thought that maze was going to be like a lot more complicated. You guys remember the maze in the Court of King Minos when we did that little 3-book Greek myth thing? It's crazy, man. Okay, so we made it. Whew, it's close. You arrive at the Silverhound terminal with little time to spare. There are many people milling around. A sign flashes above the boarding gate. Bus full. You rush towards the android standing by the door. You show it your rogue tracer's ID. There is a sharp intake of air into its system. It boards the bus and throws off a rather elderly woman. I'm a bounty hunter. Get off my bus. Oh my god. She is very cross and the other passengers stare at you while you take your seat. You sit next to an XL and try to get some rest, but you find it difficult because there is a large group of natives at the front who keep chattering and screaming at one another while they pass around drink tubes and food cubes. They do not offer you any. Deduct 2 time units. Okay. You are very tired by the time you land at Roma Terminal. You check when the bus is due to leave and set an alarm on your chronograph. You stagger out of the terminal and the first sign you see is that of a fast food and sleep unit. It looks very shabby and some dubious characters from the bus are heading for it. That'll do nicely, squeals the gate mechanism when you slip your credit in. Exactly, sorry ma'am. Inside you pick up some cubes advertised as Verwat duck flavor and sit on a broken chair munching the tasteless mush. You look around you. Rubbish litters the area and is being kicked about by all sorts of rogues. A couple you recognize are worth a few hundred credits, but you're far too tired. Sitting on one of the sleep units, you see this. So we'll actually move away from Terry's artwork for just a second. There we go. Sitting on one of the sleep units is a woman cleaning a stun gun. She looks familiar and stares at you. Then she lies down and closes up her unit. You do the same. Add 6 stamina points. Boy, did we ever need that. Now we're up to 21 out of 24. When you get up, she is just leaving. Do you follow her or do you hurry on in your search? So again, this woman looks familiar to you. So do you follow her or do you hurry on with your search? There we go. What's it going to be? Hey, what's up, beautiful bear? Oh, hi. How you doing, beautiful bear? How's life? Well, we just got into... We've got out of a maze. We've solved... we figured out where the president is. Well, sort of. And we solved a couple math puzzles. So, that's what we've done today. Hey, Rapscallion. What's going on? Good to see you, Rapscallion. How's life? Always a pleasure to have Rap in here. I second bear. So yeah, so that's what we did. So we managed to we've recovered actually most of our luck and stamina is back, and the oxygen's all taken care of now, so we don't have to worry about this anymore. We are down 3 stamina points. The main issue is that we've got 20 out of 48 time, but we also, you know, need to make sure that we get clues so we don't just wander around aimlessly. So far that's been a good balance. Absolutely, Rap. Yeah, doing well. Doing well. I'm just leaving this up looking so you guys can take a look at this familiar woman. Then we will go back to the star of the show, which is, of course, Terry's artwork. I'm going to last call this up. Oh, you tweeted the map to me? Oh, I want to see the map. I want to see this map. Check out that map. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. That's cool. Old school. Yeah. So basically there hasn't been a whole lot else to say, beautiful bear, except that we did discover this clue down here, which is that we basically got to a comm term, and we used it to find out that the president is in a high security base station, not in Madrid, Spain, and there was a symbol of a circle with a horizontal line through it, and then a reference that said 169A, and then basically the computer said it was an illegal access and we got shut out. But we figured that out before all that happened. So thanks, X5. I'm going to close that poll down. Follow the familiar woman. Let's do it. And let's go back to the artwork. She moves very fast and seems to know instinctively that you are following her. Roma is busier than Madrid with a few more natives visible. You follow at speed but are suddenly halted by a solid arm. A Grompal wants to check your ID, so you have to stop to show it. Test your luck. Oh, no problem. Yeah, no. I know, Dragon. Well, I mean, listen. We managed to get through it. We managed to hack. Then we had to get out of the maze before oxygen was used up. So yes, so test your luck. So what that means, Chaotix, is you're going to roll 2 dice, and you're going to try to compare it to the number 6. Outstanding. And it would need to be 9 or less, and it turned out to be 8. I'm glad that we got our luck just built up. Good stuff. So we managed to catch up with her. You call out and she stops and turns around. You remember where you saw her before, at a kill on Bolatrin 444. She is Arana, a very good rogue tracer. There is an immediate bond between you, hey now, and you share information. She tells you that the Groms have hired her for a special. Orvium Egberg has stolen some unprotected firmware from Records Base in Roma, and she suspects that there is some important information on those chips. The Groms got her in yesterday and dropped her at the terminal. Will you offer to help to gather this information, or carry on operating on your own? All right, what should we do? We got them hacks. It is a tracer who is someone who traces rogues. That is what it is. So yeah, so again, it's about offering to help or staying on our own. I think the nice thing about offering to help is that even if you didn't want to help her, the fact that probably there's information like unprotected firmware from Records Base in Roma, maybe we could make something out of that Records Base would be my thought. Well, yeah, I agree with the goody two-shoes part, but I also feel like it's possible that by helping, we might actually be getting information that we could use. I mean, I have no idea, obviously, but I'm just thinking to myself that, you know, it's from their Records Base. You might be able to hack their firmware one or the other, you know? I don't know. I mean, it does use time, but... This is, hello Deck Bash. No, this is not the Shadowrun universe, although I can see why you would say that. This is this book, Star Strider. This book, which is one of the fighting fantasy game books, and it happens to be a space-oriented one, which is why we're doing this one. You play a rogue tracer, basically like a bounty hunter, who is trying to track down the president of the Galactic Federation who's been kidnapped. If you don't find him within a certain period of time, they will break through the mental shields that he has on his mind, and they will discover basically the defense codes, and we would all be in trouble. Reviewing with Isaiah, I believe is what it says, Isaiah the 4th. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Argonauts. All right, so we're going to offer to help. All right. As you walk along, she tells you all the details. She suspects Orvium is going to sell to the highest bidder. You tell her your mission, for rogue tracers have no secrets from each other, and she has no objection to you using the firmware to gain information before she returns it to the Groms. She knows of a few places where Orvium and his cronies hang out. You split up and you have two options, so remember, you're finding Orvium so you can get the firmware, so you can hack it and find out where the president is. So, you split up and you have two options, the Roxy Rama or Geno's Club. Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. Okay, so do we go to the Roxy Rama? Or Geno's Club? Firmware. The Roxy Rama. At the Roxy Rama, there were some bad androids and some guys who were the Noid. I don't have much of a rhyme, 'cause I did not have time to make up something that made sense, because I'm on my mind of the Roxy Rama. Thank you, Barry Manilow. 2 for Roxy Rama, 2 for Gino's Club. Oops, that's not it. This. Okay. Okay. All right, we got 2 people for the Roxy Rama and 3 for Gino's Club. Wonder if this is Geno Smith, the not very impressive quarterback, who is now a backup quarterback for the Giants. I'm going to guess that they are not related. Oh, we got a tie, huh? All right, we got 3 votes for the Roxy Rama, 3 votes for Gino's Club. I'm going to give it a last call. We do need someone to break this tie, people. I have some people coming up. No, Deck Bash, I really try to avoid that. I would rather have someone change their vote if need be. I try to keep completely out of it. I think the only time I ever veto a chat decision is if... I try not to even give the decision. Like in the maze back there, for example, I'm not going to give a decision of, okay, do you want to go left and right, when you just went right and that wasn't the right way to go because we found out it was a dead end. I don't give that option again because you do need to kind of keep things moving at a certain level, so... Oh, so check this out, guys. For those of you who have read my graphic novel, Icarus, my daughter has always really enjoyed that book. And so she made me, out of perler beads, a picture of... Basically, that's the tower, the Magister Tower. This makes sense if you get the book. And there's the lava from the volcano, because it all takes place in a dormant volcano. And so she said this was basically the tower and the lava next to it. And she said that she couldn't, there was no place to put Icarus falling. There was like no room to put him, but she wanted to do a bigger perler beads one where she would do something like that.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I may have broken the tie once, but it was because of that, so. But yes, the decision does seem to be in. Yeah, it definitely is, but she really likes it. You know, there's something, Miranda, there's something like meditative about it, you know? She's made a super big one, too, that was impressive. This is also her. Rainbow hearts combined. But she made one with, like, this huge combination of, like, a soccer player and all this stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Nice try, Dragon. Too late. Roxy Rama wins. Okay. So, here we go. More chance for me to sing Roxy Rama. Arana gives you good directions. The road is broad and clear, and there seem to be more Groms walking around, although they are always accompanied by guards who walk particularly slowly to let their short-legged masters keep up with them. Yeah, could very well be. Could very well be. Yeah, Rap, it's kind of something that she just kind of... She kind of gets into this zen state when she's doing it, so... let's see. The Roxy Rama is an old vid palace set up in the days before Illusovision 70, when 3D entertainment had to take place in special buildings. It looks shut when you get there. You pull at a metal grill and step inside. Deduct 2 time units. Do you go along the corridor or up the staircase? So you're inside basically an old 3D theater. So... wait. Along the corridor. Or up the staircase. Thank you for the follow, Marion711. Welcome to the Arvanauts. Some beads do, Marinda. I mean, my daughter has a big, huge one, like that she got that has a lot of mixed colors, but there's also where you can just get them sorted out by individual colors at their local art store. Up for the better overview. Okay. Yeah, but see, the thing about the variety pack is that it's designed to kind of make you... It's like Legos that come in assorted. Like, there's some Legos that you can get that are just like reds, blues, greens, whatever. Blacks, you know. But then there's other ones that are just kind of a mix, and it's just kind of like... You put together what you see there and kind of let your imagination go crazy, basically. So I think they try to accommodate both to a degree. This is the part where Shepard's dancing. All right, we got 3 for up the staircase. All right, we're closing in. I'm going to last call this here. Well, yes, yes, yes. I don't think the idea, though, is efficiency necessarily. Although I will say that once you actually get it done, you know, it's like saying that Legos are inefficient. Like, they kind of are. But that's part of the magic of it, is sort of constructing it over time so that when you get it done and people see, like, I mean, there's ways to make a Millennium Falcon, as an example, that look a lot smoother and nicer than a Lego would. But when you finish a Millennium Falcon made out of Legos, you're like, oh man, that was, like, everyone is just in awe of how much work it took. So it's kind of a combination of being impressed at not just the quality of it, but like the work that it took to get it there. Frankly, it's the same thing in Minecraft even. So... It's the Dark Souls of construction, yeah. No, it would only be the Dark Souls of construction if you had to, like, if you would get a halfway through it, and then someone came along and stomped on it, and you had to start over again from the beginning. That would be Dark Souls.
So sandcastles at the beach would be
basically
the Dark Souls of building stuff.
Basically. Or mandala art, except where they were really upset that you were destroying the mandala art. I actually saw one of those being done.
Mandala art?
Yeah, you know what that is?
Well, I think it's something different here. Because when over here, a mandala or mandala, I guess, would be like those spherical pattern thingies that you print out and then draw the colors in.
Oh, yeah, no, it's this is similar, but it's done with sand. So, and it's done by a lot of by monks oftentimes that just do it like, you know, basically arrange several grains of sand at a time to make this incredible, gorgeous drawing, and then they blow it away. And the idea of it is sort of the impermanence of what we create and make, and that it is the process of doing it that matters. I saw it being done once at, I think it was at UNC Greensboro. I was there for a conference, and they had, someone was they were doing this sand art in the bottom of this, like, student center, like the rotunda, and so you could look down on it being made, and then at the end of it, they just destroy all of it, which is like, yeah, exactly, Rap, exactly. So... Thank you for the follow, Hugo, 200, 4210, 200, 4210. Oh my god. Welcome to the Arvanauts. See you, Zergy. Good for you for being a responsible adult. Okay. I think we last called this, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll do it again just in case. Are we going to go up the staircase here? Is that what we're looking at? Okay. Yeah, that's cool, Dragon. Yeah, responsibility. All right, so we're going to close this poll. Okay, up the staircase it goes. All right. Wait a second, I lost my... Shoot, I lost the... I lost the Roxy Rama. Okay. You climb the stairs and find yourself in front of a door. You hear talking and swearing behind this door. There are two voices. You pull out your catchman. Do you go in or do you look around some more? So basically, go in or don't go in. You hear swearing behind the door. So do you go in or not? It's the club music. Go in is the... so look around more, by the way, means that you would not go into the room at all. It doesn't mean look around first and then go in. Just so you guys know. You're basically choosing whether to go in or not go in at all. Yes, you did get your net weapon. You got out your catchman. Yep. You got your catch music. Yeah, this is like the universal club, club dancing music in Mass Effect Dragon. Yep. No problem, Rep. All right. We got one vote each here. Are you going to go in to find out what's going on with the swearing, or are you going to look around more? All right, Lucathea has us going in. By the way, a reminder as we're continuing this vote. Yeah, agreed. As we're doing this vote, that you guys are watching the playthrough of the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 27, Star Strider. It made some very good progress today. Being live illustrated, as you guys can see on your screen, by TariToons. If you like what you've seen here, please make sure to follow the channel. Please support the Patreon and subscribe to the channel if you possibly can. And the other thing I want to mention is that we're going to go for about another half hour or so. Then at the top of the hour, we're going to conduct our nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month. So you guys will get to nominate a game for me to try. The final vote on that will be on Friday nights. It's a little more compressed than usual because I'm going to play that game next Tuesday, a week from today, because the Tuesdays after that are already used up with the 2 Tolkien sessions, which TariToons is also in, and which, by the way, will be debuting a new player. Unfortunately, Lauren Irwin has had to bail out because of a job conflict, and so jumping in is going to be Don Cairo as we continue Wilderland Adventures. The crew successfully beat episode 1, but there are many episodes left to go, and so the next episode is coming up in our next session, which will be, again, 2 weeks from today. So next week is the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month, and the week after that begins one of 2 sessions this month of Tolkien. Oh, so your vote is going to be for not ever going to play No One Lives Forever 1, Dragon? But yes, noted. Alright, so we got 3 votes for go in, 3 votes for look around more. I'm going to last call this, but we do need someone to break this tie. We do need someone to break the tie. I'll definitely try. Alright. Going once. Going twice. Okay. I want to check something. Okay. Just wanted to check. Lovely. Alright, sounds good. So, we have decided to go in with our net gun ready. The door slides open. You jump left and fire your catchman at the rogue on the left. The plastinet envelops him. The second pulls out a blaster, but you were on him before he can fire. All right. So, it's battle time. I like how these things are rogues. I guess it makes sense. That's what you are, right? He's a rogue tracer. Okay, so skill 7. Stamina 8. All right, here we go. So you know the drill with this now, Chaotix. Yeah, that's true, Dragon. That's true. That's true. That's true. This is the potty mouth police. All right, here we go. So 2 + 3 = 5. All right, so we got a 15. So he needs an 8 to tie, a 9 to beat. Does not get it. All right, now remember, this is not an android, so this guy you just got to bring down the old-fashioned way. I'm going to defend Dark Souls story to the death. Dragon Spear was not a fan of Dark Souls. Not a fan. Three plus 1 is 4. All right. 5. Wow. Despite that, you still knock down the rogue. That you have a strange knack, Chaotix, for rolling lower, but somehow getting the creatures you're fighting to do even worse. It's like you bring them down to your level. It's like every year when the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Cleveland Browns, and for about a quarter, the Browns are so bad that the Steelers also play badly just by osmosis. And then they're like, wait a minute, we're the Steelers. And then they destroy them by like 4 touchdowns. But for the first quarter, they're like, I cannot play either. All right, 5 + 4 is 9. Also gets a 9, and so you knock them down to 2. So your swift kicks whoosh, whoosh, is taking him down. Yeah, I know. Well, as you know, I eventually gave up on Dark Souls myself just because I wasn't having fun with it anymore. So I gave it the old college try, but I finally had enough of it. Not my kind of game. All right, 5 + 1 is 6. 7, but that's not going to be enough. And without taking a shot, you guys successfully take down the rogue. You want to ask the fugitives a few questions, but they speak a dialect that your trans interpreter cannot understand. You stash them for later collection and go downstairs. Deduct 2 time units. It's very dark in the corridor. There is a curtain at the end and you can hear music. You pull it aside and you see a 3D vid of a very old film that you once saw on Channel 44, Star Blasters. You hear a man's laugh in the circular auditorium. He asks you what you want. You reply, Orvium. He gets up. He is huge and carries 4 blasters strapped to various parts of his body. He asks you your business and you mention the Grom firmware. He looks you up and down and says he'll take you to Orvium. Oh boy. He leads you out of the Roxy Rama. He takes giant strides and you try to keep up with him. The road is deserted, overgrown, and full of ruins. At one crossroads, he stops, pulls out a blaster, and carefully edges round the corner. Just then, a Grom task force rockets in. They retro down from roofs and out of windows. Your companion starts firing and rushes at a group. He knocks down 3 with 1 blow. A Gromcraft is directing operations from high above. Do you join in the fight to aid your companion, or will you try to slip away? All right, what's it going to be? Join in the fight or try to slip away? Okay. Kayla's her badass companion of all the fun. If I want to match 4 blaster, dude. I know, right, Chaotix? The gauntlet has been thrown. Or in this case, the 4 gauntlets, I guess. I'm gonna last call that. Alright, good. Okay, so we're going to close this poll. Alright. So join in the fight it is. You leap forward and he hands you one of his blasters. You follow him through ranks of androids, which seem to be no match for him. But just then the Gromcraft drops a catch-all plastinet. Test your luck. Alright, so you have to test your luck, guys, as this plastinet heads towards you. So you know the drill, Chaotix. You're rolling 2 dice, trying to get a lower number, if you can. Wow. Just lucky. Holy cow. Just lucky. Alright. You dodge to the left just in time to avoid being caught. As you look up, you see an abandoned retro pack, and you run over and pick it up. There just might be enough fuel left. In a hail of stun shots, you strap it on, ignite the rockets, and shoot off in an uncontrollable arc. Test your skill. Okay, so you need to roll 2 dice, and you're looking for equal to or less than your skill number on this one, Chaotix. I know, right? Futuristic net technology. Alright, that one is pretty safe, and you don't lose any skill for doing that. Okay. You catch onto the edge of a tallish building and hold on until the fuel in the retro runs out. You unstrap the rocket and let it drop. The androids below begin to fire you with their blasters, so you get onto the roof and decide to leap over to the next building. Roll 2 dice and add up the result. This is the distance to jump, so I will do that. Alright, so the distance is 7 feet or 7 meters, I guess. Now what you need to do is roll 1 die and add the number to your stamina score. This is your jump. The good news is you're pretty likely to get this, Chaotix, so just roll 1 die for me. You would have a hard time not making this, since pretty much, you know, you'd have to roll like a negative 15 or something.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, no. And the first time ever, he rolls a 2. Yeah. So, right. If your jump is equal to or greater than the distance, you have jumped successfully and make your way down to the stairs to the neighboring street. I like if you miss, it says if you fail, you fall. And there's just no number. It's just like you fall. And I guess ... You could figure it out from there. Across from the building, you see a flashing sign. It says like dash, like blank, Inos, and then C blank UB. So blank Enos, C blank UB. You walk up to the front door, which is just a bead curtain. You walk through and see a juke projecting an old Galaxy-Ents promo. You walk up to the dispenser and press for a Mangola tube. You look around. There are many untraced rogues about. Rich pickings if you were in the mood. In the far corner, a fight begins. Someone gets punched and falls into the projection. He is followed by Orvium, who stands over him and kicks him. You stand up and walk over to Orvium, pushing his guards aside. You tell him that you want to talk. He is drunk and refuses to talk to anyone who hasn't played the game. He sits you down opposite one of his gang and throws an old 6-chamber stun gun out onto the table. He puts a charge in one chamber and then spins it. Your opponent picks up the gun and puts it to his head. Roll 1 die. That is the chamber. Roll the second die. That is his go. If the numbers match, he has blown his brains out. Now it is your turn. Roll the second die again. Take alternate turns until one of you is dead. So we'll start with him. So basically we're playing Russian roulette with this dude. So here we go. I'm going to roll 1 die. His chamber, okay. And now his roll. Nope. Okay, so Chaotix number is 3. So now, Chaotix, you need to roll again. Don't get a 3. Well, thank you for the host exploding dice. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Askren. Askren is a very good D&D streamer you guys should be following. Oh, no. Okay, so you've got to test your luck, Chaotix. We've got to test your luck. So this is 2 dice. Wow. All right. You hold the gun up to your head, but as you pull the trigger... Thank you for the follow, Dylan Andrew Gammer. Welcome to the Arvanauts. You hear an audible click as the gun is jammed. You take it down and play with it until it releases. Now it is his turn. Wow. Okay, so he's got a 6. Oops, I rolled the... Nope. Sorry. 1 die. 1. Okay, your turn again. Okay, your turn, Chaotix. Roll 1 die, and then you're going to roll it again and try not to get the same number. Who the heck thought a Russian roulette sequence was a good idea in one of these books? Jeez. 5 and 4. Whew, close. Okay, he rolls, gets a 1. Gets a 2. All right, our turn. No, I was a little confused about that too, Rapscallion. It's not him, it's one of his gang members. It's not Orvium, it's one of his gang members. I was thinking the same thing, but I just looked and it's his gang member that's doing it. So, okay, good. So now his turn. 6. 3. All right, your turn. He was drunk and he basically put one of his own gang members up against you. So that's how it worked out. I was confused too at first. What's up, Kilobyte? Sure. What's your grammar question? Five and 6. Whew, okay. He's got a 6. 4. All right. Oop, crap. Your turn again. Four and 1, okay. He gets a 1 and a 2. Man, I wonder what the actual odds are. It'd be 1 and 6 plus 1 and 6. Some statistician would know, right? Punctuation marks at the end of a sentence and dialogue. It depends if the sentence and dialogue goes on to something else. Normally the punctuation mark goes inside the quotation marks. So you would say something like, open quote, I don't give a damn what he said to you, comma, close quote, he said, looking at me with a glare. right? That would be how you would do it. If it is something where there's something that's outside of the dialogue that leads on to another part of the sentence, like, for example, open quote, I don't give a damn what he said to you, close quote, semicolon, I looked at his face and realized he was serious. You put the semicolon outside of the quotes in that situation because it's technically not part of his sentence, not part of the description. So it usually is inside the quotation marks unless you're going to go on to a part of the sentence that has nothing whatsoever to do with his dialogue line. In other words, it's just you looking at him. It's not him speaking anymore. So yes. Yeah, I wonder how many henchmen he goes to this way. Okay, 3 and 4. So 4, 5. Your turn again. Yeah, check that out. I love the it looks almost like lightning coming out of its I didn't actually notice. Yeah, the four horn set up. Sure. 4 and 1. 6. 3. Man. Geez, how to grind the flow of a book to a halt. Have them do lots of Russian roulette. Two and 3, all right. So, this time we're looking at 1, 5. Still not. See, I feel like if I were a gang member, so it's your turn, Chaotix. I feel like if I was a gang member, I would probably just run away because, you know, yeah, he's going to fire at me and try to kill me, but this is a surefire way. I mean, like, it's just, I have better odds of survival, don't I? 3 and 2. 2. 4. Nope. Six. Six and 2. Yeah, natural selection will work. 5. 5! Blam! Yeah, one wonders, Lucathea, right? Alright, he blows his brains out. If you survive, deduct 2 time units. Okay. Turn to 165. Okay. Wow. Orvium orders the body to be thrown out. He tells you that you were brave, but that he suspects you're from the Galactic Center. You tell him that you want the Grom firmware and Galaxy One is willing to pay a high price. He wants to know how high and stresses that it is up to date and unprotected. You ask to see it, and he gives you 30 gravity seconds in front of it. They take you to an old IPX. You flip through the menus until you get to information about the president. With several seconds left, you have a choice of 2 buttons for his location. Do you press button A or button B? Button A or button B? Lot of 50-50s in this one. Lot of 50-50s. No hint. Literally no hint. Exactly, Marinda. I had the same reaction. I was like, what? I'm guessing there was a hint in an alternate story branch earlier also. Yes, I'm guessing that's the case. I think if I were looking at that, I would just hit button A because I'd be like, well, hell with this. Button A seems as good a choice as any. Without this other information. And again, that's based on no inside info. That's just me saying, like, I would just press a button because it's literally a 50-50 shot. There are occasional moments where they give you the 50-50 on the assumption that you can always just restart from that section, which is sort of a commonly understood thing in Fighting Fantasy game books. I still don't like it, though, when there's literally no information available. If there's stuff that they give you information that you could have had earlier, then maybe, you know, but like... So, okay. And let's close the poll. All right. You press A, and on the screen you see Q867 RT88 20K K. You recognize this as the open code for London base. Then the screen goes blank. So... Open code for the London base. Okay. Okay. Orvium and his cronies come back in, and he asks you if that is not the real thing. You agree that it is, and you tell him that you have to report back and arrange for credits, but Orvium says, "Come on, stay for a drink." Do you stay, or do you know you're running out of time and need to get out fast? This will probably be our last decision of the day, guys. All right, what's it going to be? Exactly, Miranda. Yeah, yeah. Like how we're drinking with this moron. That's funny. All right, what are you guys going to do? Yeah, yeah. It's kind of my thought too, Miranda. Thank you for the host, Fire Snake. I appreciate it. Anything for a free drink. Good to see you, Fire Snake. Thanks for the host, man. Yeah, yeah, the Star Strider's been interesting. I like it, although there have been a couple of 50-50s that have been irritating, but for the most part, I really like it. And the illustrations that TariToons is coming up with, like this one, is awesome. Have been awesome. Okay, I'm going to last call this. This is going to be our last decision of the day. And then we're going to do our usual review of the art we did today, and then we'll do the chat chosen nominations, and then that'll be it for the show for this today on my channel anyway. Illustrations are better than the story. I think the story's been pretty good. I think it's been a decent story. Maybe a little disjointed. Throw his drink in his face before leaving. Okay, so you're going to get out fast. All right. You tell Orvium that you'll be back in 2 gravity hours. As you leave, however, you come face to face with Brack 9 and 2 grubby XL androids. Brack, an old pirate now in semi-retirement, recognizes you and sets the XLs to hold you while he calls Orvium over and tells him of your rogue tracer status. Orvium angrily punches you, and you collapse. And I think that will be a good place for us to give ourselves a save point. Orvium just punched us, and that gives us a good save point to stop to. The cliffhanger. The dun-dun-dun-dun. What will we do now? So there we are. Yep. The other way, I just looked, and the other way would have been even worse. So it was going to happen regardless. So we have been caught in the net, so to speak. I know. God damn this Orvium guy. All right, so here we are with 313. But guys, we made a lot of good progress today. We got clues on basically where the president is. I'm guessing that means he's at the London base. We got this reference, which is a code, I guess, to open it, and another code for this reference, whatever this means. With the thing about the circle with a horizontal line through it. We got to the com term. We survived that. We got up to the, we made our escape as well. We got up back up to 21 stamina out of 24. Our luck could be in better shape. But our skill is fine, our fear is fine, our time we're running low on, but that's to be expected as we move through. So, in general, I would say that this was very effective. So let's save this game here. And... okay. So I don't know. I'm going to see if there's a chance for us to play another one of these sometime this month, but I cannot promise it because we're pretty booked up for much of the month. So we will see, and obviously depends on what Terry's able to do also. So I will find out and see what we can or can't do. But before I do all of that, man, that drawing is epic. So let's do our little bit of a review if we can, Terry. Do you want to put a couple last details on this, or are you good? And do you want to do the review?
I'm almost done.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So, and then at that point, guys, we're going to... in fact, what I'll do is... why don't I do this? While you're tuning the final details, I'm going to do the... I'll just do it on this screen. I will do the chat chosen vote of the month. So, I will now take nominations, guys, for the game that I'm going to play next week on my channel as chosen by chat. I'll take the first 6 nominations that I see. Please, I do reserve the right to veto. So, okay, so we've got Loom. That's one choice. I'm very seriously considering vetoing Nolf 1, but maybe. Oh, Antechamber. That's an interesting one. And then we'll take a vote and narrow it down.
If you play Loom, your daughter should also play. I think that's...
oh, she would dig it?
I think
okay.
she would like it, yeah.
Okay. I have Loom already, so I've never played it, but I have it. Crimson Shroud.
Loom is very, has a very fairy tale
okay.
style to it.
I dig it. That's cool. All right, Loom, Nolf 1, maybe. Antechamber, Crimson Shroud. Anyone else? I could take 2 more nominations. I do have Divinity Original Sin. I didn't love it, honestly, Rap. I played it with Series Runner for a while. I don't have Divinity Original Sin 2. Not sure that I'd want to get it for something like this, just because I don't know. This is the vote for the chat chosen game of the month 10. So we have 4 nominations up so far. I can take 2 more. What is the last day of June? Also, I reserve the right to veto horror games because I don't like horror games. What is last day of June, Chaotix? Can you link it up for me so I can take a look? It's a cinematic adventure? Okay. Are you able to link it? Link it for me? And then I can take 1 more nomination. Kind of like the playbooks. Oh, okay. And not horror, can I assume? Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, awesome. When this gets done, we'll be able to do the review. Wow, it looks pretty intense. Okay. Une belle aventure émotionnelle. All right, cool. Stories, The Path of Destinies. Whoops, how about I actually spell that right? All right, and then the last one is Dragon. I really don't want to play Nolf, so I'm going to veto that. You can choose another one for him. You can pick another one. Except for Nolf 2, which I've already played. And I don't want to play again. No vote yet. I'll open it up in just a minute, X5.
Y'all better be voting for here, guys.
Yeah, that's neat. The Last Express I can't get running, Dragon. I told you. I don't have an objection to the Last Express, but I couldn't get it to run when I tried to play it. So we're still in the same boat on that. I have no objection to it. I just couldn't get it to run, and I don't want to spend forever trying to figure it out to run, especially a week from now. So, unfortunately, I have to veto Last Express because of problems running it in the past. Nah, no, I got a GOG copy and it wasn't working either. It's... Oh, that's cool. I'll take that, sure. Grim Fandango, sure. I never played Grim Fandango, actually.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love that game. I actually gonna get the main character tattooed on my left arm.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'm down with that. All right, good. So Loom, Grim Fandango Remastered, Antechamber, Crimson Shroud, Last Day of June, Stories, The Path of Destinies. Okay. So go ahead and vote, guys. Vote. You obviously can only vote for one. I'll take the top 3 of these. The top 3 vote getters will go into the final vote, which will be held to stop by Friday. So while they're doing this, now I think we can go over the drawings here. So do you want to start from the top of what we did today, Terry?
So, as a little warm-up drawing, I just did a good portrait of our heroine, Sitara. It's like the space scene from the one.
Yep. Awesome, awesome.
Then we had our our robot janitor. What did we call him again?
I think we called him like
Broomba?
Broomba, I think, yeah.
Something.
Our boy Broomba.
It's not even a broom, it's a mop. But
It's a moppa. That's true. It's like moppa or something. That's pretty awesome, though. So we got our boy there. I love that.
and yeah, then the fight scene.
And then that one.
against,
That one right there is, I mean, like, the first two were great in different ways. I like the close-up of her. I love I was really having fun with the robot janitor. But in terms of, like, just the wow factor, this has got the wow factor for me. Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet.
That's why you warm up before drawing.
Yeah. That's really
I
cool.
couldn't draw something like this from scratch usually. So, yeah.
That's really sweet. That bull, too. I dig it. That's pretty awesome. Oh, really beautiful bear? Well, we'll see how that goes. The bull reminds you of the Gorgon unit from Heroes of Might and Magic. Yes! For sure, I can see that. I love Heroes of Might and Magic. Yeah, the Gorgon.
Yeah, those Gorgons are also in D&D.
Yep.
And Pathfinder.
Yep. That's good stuff. I dig it. That's cool. Oh, that was really good. We had some really good ones. That's going to be... It's fun to see when Tara usually tweets these out afterwards and then puts them up on her Patreon at some point. So she usually links them up and is like, okay, so here's this stuff that we did. And it's funny to see the reactions from people that are like, some of them are like, where did this come? Like, how did you do this? Yeah, they're like, what led to this drawing? I'm like, well, things happen in game books sometimes, and so.
Well, it's actually funny when I post like almost any of my art on this one German website I'm on.
Okay.
I call it Toons Up, which is this German artist community, and most of the stuff I draw is not really considered mainstream where I come from.
Okay.
And most of the people on that website are like 40 years or older. And so most of the stuff I post is like video game fan art or cartoon fan art, and
yeah,
just seeing the reactions from people who have no idea what is going on in those pictures.
Are they like
frequently.
supportive but lost, or are they?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Basically.
Okay.
Especially with all my D&D fan art. Like lately, I started to draw a lot of DC fan art.
Right.
More people get those. At least popular characters like Wonder Woman, for example.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
funny.
mean, most people do not know who Green Arrow is. But yeah.
Yeah, I just had to explain Green Arrow to my daughter, and I was like, it's kind of like Batman, but with a bow and arrow. And she's like, you mean Hawkeye? I'm like, no, okay, that's also a guy with a bow and arrow, but it's not the same guy with a bow and arrow. And so we've gotten to, I'm able to explain to her Avengers and Fantastic Four being different teams and all that kind of stuff. So all that stuff. We're getting there bit by bit. But cool. All right. So that really came out awesome. Let's go back to the game thing quickly here. So going to last call this up, folks. Last calling this up. We got 4 votes for Grim Fandango, which looks like it's definitely going to make the top 3. And then we've got Loom and we've got Last Day of June. So it looks like those 3. So adventure games is what chat wants this month, obviously. We got all adventure games. So that's going to be pretty cool. I have a feeling the battle's going to be between Grim Fandango and Loom, is my guess. I think in the end that's going to be the war.
I'm absolutely fine with either.
Yeah, that's going to be. My daughter's on the Marvel side of the Marvel versus DC argument. Well, the thing is that she's seen her access to these things, because we haven't let her watch these movies yet, because trust me, not ready for it. Is the Legos. So Lego movies. So she's watched like Avengers Lego, and she's seen obviously the Batman Lego movie, which she loves and all that. So her vision of like the Joker is like, well, the Joker's really cool and he's kind of nice and funny. I'm like, yes, that is the Lego Zach whatchamacallit guy version of it, but so okay. So let us close this vote down.
They took some artistic liberties.
Say that again, what?
They took some slight artistic liberties.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
Characters.
Yeah, just a bit. But I have to say, I like the Lego. I mean, I like their sense of humor, so I kind of enjoy them. But yeah, they're very different. I like that they work on multiple levels depending on adult or child. They all kind of work together.
So many references that no kid would get.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. And the adults are cracking up for that reason. I love it.
Yeah.
So there we go. So the 3 votes. There we go. So Kilobyte. The votes are now. Thanks for the host, BB Wolf. Good to see you, BB. A member of the R Vocalists, of course, a talented streamer that you guys should be following. She's cool. So the votes are 4 votes for Loom, 3 votes for Fandango, and 3 votes for Last Day of June. So that means those are the 3 guys that are going to go in the final vote. So if Potato Bot could create it, and if Ahmad could link up, Kilobyte, I guess, is handling the Potato Bot part. But if you could link that up also to next game, that would be awesome. Thank you. So there's the straw poll, folks. That's the one that you should vote in. That's the one that we're going to pay attention to. That's the final vote. Loom, Grim Fandango, Last Day of June. And that will be open until the end of my stream on Friday night. At the end of my stream on Friday night, I will close it down, and I will play the winner this coming Tuesday. Either Loom, Grim Fandango, or Last Day of June. So that is going to do it, though, I think, for this session. And Terry, as always, I want to say this was really great. I really am glad that we started doing these, because I really enjoy this every time we get the chance to. And where are the fine people going to be able to see you next on these here interwebs and things?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I love these streams.
Always my pleasure.
I'm not sure. You guys will see it probably on the Wildernet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Next, which will be in 2 weeks.
Same bedtime.
Yes.
Same bed channel.
Same bed time, same bed channel. Yeah, in 2 weeks. Poor Terry has to like give up 3 of her Tuesdays now to our shenanigans here. Although I would feel worse about it if she wasn't having fun, and my impression is that she is. That's my impression.
Well, I don't have anything better to do.
Great. Whenever I find something more fun, that'll be it. That'll be the end of the scenario.
No, I really enjoy these streams.
That's awesome.
The thing is, I always wanted to do more streams on my own channel, but I have the problem that I cannot talk while I draw.
Oh.
So it really helps to have someone who actually like moderates everything and takes care of everything. And
yeah, I have no problem talking while you're
concentrate
drawing.
on drawing and make some bad jokes once in a while.
Great jokes. You mean great, awesome jokes that are super awesome and not dumb at all.
Yes.
No, that's cool. I really do appreciate it. It's great stuff, and we will continue this. So, chat, can we get some love for TariToons? As always, and again, you will see Terry in a couple weeks. I will send Terry a message and see if we can get another one of these sessions in for the Fighting Fantasy this month, because I think we'll be able to wrap this book with our next session. But if we can't, then that's certainly not a problem. We can do it next month, and we will see Terry here in 2 weeks anyway. But in the meantime, can we get some love and respect and all that for the wonderfully talented TariToons? And by the way, Terry, can you link, I should have a command in here for you, but can you link your Patreon so people can, some people can go to it?
It helps that I always have a million tabs open. So
I know, right?
Type in anything. Oh, you guys.
Oh, did my chat break? Oh, there we go. My chat was not moving. I'm like, what? Okay, there we go. All of a sudden, I'm like, there we go. Get hyped, get hyped. Hey, what's up, JLC? All right, there we go. Now I don't have to. I was about to be like, what's going on? Why aren't you guys doing anything? And then all of a sudden, my chat's like, update, update, update. I'm like, okay. So that's awesome. Yeah, really, really good stuff today. I really enjoyed all three of the art pieces. So cool stuff. You guys should check out her Patreon. You should support her Patreon and support her. And you will see her again on my channel, as I said, in a couple of weeks. But I am going to let her go. I did a voice acted advert. Yes, which was clipped, which you clipped. I know, X5, that's true. Hopefully more people will pick up on that as we go. All right, well then I am going to let Terry go so that I can close up shop. So Terry, thank you so much as always, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. See you, Terry. Okay. Oops. And let's do that. It just doesn't look as awesome as her artwork. It just doesn't. Okay. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for me. This was a great time. I really enjoyed myself. It is really bright in here because of the light over there, but that usually happens. But this was awesome. I had a good time. And now I am going to go get ready for my Pen and Pixel show at the top of the hour when I am going to be playing a new game for me. I'm going to be playing Star Trek Judgment Rights. It's actually going back full circle because when I first started streaming on GOG doing Pen and Pixels, which I think was 2 years ago almost now. I think I started with them in October of 2015. So when I started with them, my first game that I ever streamed was Star Trek 25th Anniversary. And so now I'm getting a chance to stream Star Trek Judgment Rights, which I'm looking forward to. Speaking of adventure games, apparently I'm going to be on an adventure game kick. So you guys should hopefully head over there and check it out if you were interested in Star Trek and adventure games and things like that. So we're not going to do a raid today because the assumption is that you guys will be hopefully joining up with me over at GOG. Again, on my channel, I'm going to be back here on Friday when I will be playing Lunar Silver Star Story, and we'll be doing the final vote on that thing that you guys just nominated for today. And then on Saturday, we will be back with the D&D as the Infinity and Beyond crew joins back up with us, and we continue with the Rise of Tiamat. They are battling a green dragon right now, so they got some issues that they've got to attend to that they'll be working on. So you got to make the entree ready. Yeah, man, that's right. You got to make the entree, the introduction ready. So that's going to do it for me. If you guys liked what you saw and heard today, please make sure to follow the stream, follow the channel. Please make sure to check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, Steam group with !Steam group, the Discord, of course, with !Discord. Please make sure also to support if you can either with the Patreon, which is right there, !ArvTreon, or if you're able to check out subscribe to the channel, which is the purple button right above the video window here, and sub. That also is a benefit to the channel and helps. A lot of cool stuff that you can get individually through the Patreon, including epic character backgrounds and epic poems and stuff like that written for you, critiques of your writing, copy of one of my band's first albums, depending on the tiers that you choose. And obviously you can get benefits from subscribers as well. The hell was that? Oh. So my phone just buzzed. Wow. My phone just buzzed to let me know that it was low power, but my phone was sitting on my file cabinet, my metal file cabinet. So when it buzzed, it was like, brrr, I was like, ah! It was really disturbing. Anyway, I'm glad that nothing is blowing up around me. That was really weird. Anyway, I'm fine. We're fine here. How are you? So, all right. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. But please make sure to support all the things if you can. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Dragon Spear, Kilobyte, 10 of Clubs, best in the business, as I've said many times. Thank you to my wonderful regulars as well, my subscribers. First of all, thank you to Dragon Spear, Kilobyte, 10 of Clubs, Chaotix, and Uncle Elias. Thank you guys all so much. Thank you to my Patreon supporters who include many of those people, plus Beautiful Bear and a Tutu. Thank you to my regulars as well, Deck Bash, Divinorium, Dusk Hellhound, Echo Alpha, X5, ECAG, Epidemic, Fagwent. Epidemic, of course, supports me as well. Too many people do to be able to name them all. Thank you to Fagwent, Firesnake Aries, Jagtris, JLC. I saw you just came in, JLC. Sorry, but I'm just signing off, but I'll be back at the top of the hour over at GOG. Thank you to Lucothea. Thank you to Marindo, Talkin, Pika Fan, Polterka Zero, Private J, Rapscallion as always, Sad Frog Player, of course, TariToons. Thank you so much, TariToons, for all your work today. It was really awesome. Thank you to TNS Mephiston, and thank you to Zergy Stardust. Thank you guys all so much. Pleasure. I understand, Rapscallion. That's totally fine. Thank you otherwise. You're not on the Patreon? Oh, okay. Well, I forgot. Thank you for just being a regular. So thanks, Beautiful Bear. Either way. Thank you guys all so much. Love you all. You're the best viewers on Twitch, and I will catch all of you wonderful people, hopefully at the top of the hour at GOG, and then on my own channel on Friday night. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good night. Day. Something.
Well, do you remember when the world was fresh and new? When it all seemed clear to you? When your aim was straight and true? Well, your mind untroubled by the questions in the dark, content to play your part, open pathways to your heart. Well, your life untainted by a host of broken dreams. When all your acts were queens, understood all that it means. Could you have understood the way your life was bound? Did you ever wonder how you got from there to now? Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. Go on and search now through your pile of broken lies and your set of fake goodbyes. Another cynical disguise. When will they catch you? All those little things you said. Will it turn around instead? Blame the voices in your head. With all your subtle language, try and turn your life around. If your center gets unwound, you do your best to slow things down. And if you feel things that you never felt before, things that shook you to your core, a shattered truth you can ignore. Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. when you got to